Hello everybody, we're back on these E7s, and these are the ones that are not getting a whole lot of love. They're just getting somewhat cleaned up, and we found a CP valve that, as you remembered, I filled these ports with oil. Well, I filled it up with PB Blaster and hopeful that would make it a little bit better than how it was, because it was gummed up with oil, carbon, and you can see it looks a little bit better. So something is better than nothing. If you ever have a head like this and you're just going to take it off one engine and put it on another engine to get your vehicle running, that's what a lot of guys do. And a lot of guys won't even clean this up. They'll just say whatever it is. This engine had 100,000 miles. That engine has 70,000 miles. I got the heads off of it. It's fine. I'm not doing anything to it. That has happened time and time again. You might be one of them guys that's taking the head out of the junkyard and put on another vehicle. I think we've all done that at times. But one thing that I want to show you is, even when we take the time to clean and prep something a little better, and that's usually what you get, a little better. I mean, these valves were so gummed up that it did help putting the oil in there and taking the brush. So it did clean that up. But now I've decided to take these heads apart. And the reason I did that is because I told my son, you're leaving way too much on the table. And we're doing things we shouldn't do. If you're trying to get a stock head to run, well, it should run at least how it ran when it was new. So what we're going to do here, we're going to clean it up, do a valve job, and relap the valves in. Nothing fancy. And that's what we're going to do. So I already took a sneak peek in here. So I'm going to show you guys this. I wiped the valve off already on the back. And you can see it's not terrible. So, but the bowl is pretty terrible. If you want to see how much gunk is in here, well, even with a cleanup with a brush down in that port, just like I told you, I didn't like doing that way, but look guys, and the light of course is going to show this where it's not coming off as nasty on video as it is in person. This looks like a little bit of grease laying there, and look where it's at. Look at this. All along the seat area. Right where you would not want all this buildup. And this is where I couldn't get back in there, guys. I used the cleaner, that's why it's all wet, and that's where it was breaking it loose. And some of it would have burned out. But would you really want that? Even if you have a stock vehicle, would you really want that? Now I'll wipe the excess off here, and as you can see, it's still built up back in here. So fuel mileage alone, and you think, well, that's the exhaust. That will go out. When you restrict exhaust, you're also hurting the intake charge. So that's something to keep in mind. And I'm just happy I'm able to disassemble this head, because that wasn't happening before. I told you in a previous video it wasn't getting disassembled. But I just cannot let things go like this. It's a hindrance, and especially if you're trying to drag race something, would you want to knock 5 or 10 horsepower out of the head that's already a bad flowing head? I don't think so. So we're going to do a nice cleanup, a valve job, and the seat on this one here is not terrible, but we're going to lap the valves back in. Now remember, these were not leaking, so they had a good seal. At least the valves were seating properly. But there's more to it than just that. If the bowl's gummed all up and cluttered up with oil and where it can't breathe, and I don't know if you guys can see back in here, it's all gummed up in here too. The whole thing was gummed up, of course. But anyway, instead of me repeating myself about how gummed up they were, that's what we have, and I wanted to show you guys. And I wanted to show exactly what's being left on the table when somebody takes a head off another vehicle and just sticks it on a engine they're trying to get to work with. So I don't want to paranoid anybody over this, but if there's any way that you can take the valves out and have time to do that and do a fresh valve job, then that's the way to go. Most guys know that. Some guys don't think it's that crucial. And this is always how you should do something. It should be disassembled and at least have it as good as it was, or better than factory. You get a good machine guy on something like this here, with a cleanup on the valves and just some little bit of work into the bowl area, I bet you that engine would pick up 20 to 30 horsepower. Somebody that knows what they're doing. So somebody that doesn't know what they're doing, as long as they do a nice cleanup, well, it's still going to be a big improvement. And the only reason I say know what they're doing, some guys will put a better bowl blend than others, and that's important. But just getting the seat back to normal, that's a big plus. So I thought I'd run that by you fellas. I'm sorry I'm not holding this camera exactly perfect, because it's a different phone and it doesn't show on video when I'm looking through, and I don't understand that. I spent more money, and it seems like the more you spend on these phones, it's not a big improvement sometimes. Actually, my old phone was uploading videos real slow, so I got this phone with new service carrier, and this would not let me upload the last video that I did trying to show you guys this. So I guess I'd throw that in the mix. I don't know if anybody else is having problems with that, but it seems like they are. A few people I've talked to and a few guys on the internet that I've heard mixing things here and there. So I just thought I'd throw that in here. But anyway guys, there you go. So we are going to be putting a new valve job on the head, and that's how it should be done. My father always said if you can't do something right, don't do it at all. But my theory is if you can't do something right, at least do something to help the problem. So my theory is if you can do something to help it and make it better by at least cleaning the port out, well, that's still something. So anyway, that's Terry's thought. My dad was always right, though, I will say that. All right, everybody, have a good day. And thank you for taking time out of your day to watch my video. And I want to say God bless you, everybody. Thank you.